Sorry it's taking me a little while to upload this video. I was kind of focused on the Vikings-Bills game, which is probably understandable because it might be the game of the year so far. There's a lot of back and forth in that, so it took me a little while to get down to record this one. But the Steelers pick up a win over the New Orleans Saints, 20-10, now 3-6 on the year. If you're hoping Pittsburgh loses to get a higher pick in draft, I understand, but I'm still going to root for Pittsburgh to win week to week. Because I like winning football, frankly. And Mike Tomlin has now beaten every team in the NFL except for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so another notch in his belt as head coach of the team. Let's get into something good from this game. Kenny Pickett, mixed bag today, but overall I think it's a good thing. I mean, 18 for 30 for 199 yards, and also contributing on the ground with his legs. 8 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown. I felt pretty good about how he played today. Obviously, not turning the ball over is huge for him, considering some of the nightmarish outings he's had so far, some tough throws he's made that really make you scratch your head a little bit. But he played a lot better today. And from what I saw, still has a little bit of issue in the pocket. His pocket control, I think, is still problematic. And that was something he had an issue with back in college as well. I would like to see him have much better control of the pocket in terms of playing within structure, not running outside and avoiding the pocket too quickly, just being more comfortable sitting back behind his offensive line. Of course, the offensive line itself might be a bit of an issue. He's just sacked 6 times today, lost 37 yards that way. So maybe getting better protection in front of him might be a long-term way to settle him down a little bit. But like I said, overall, I'm pretty happy with this game. I know he had a couple of big-time throws that really helped us out down the stretch. And we'd like to see those flashes of greatness from Kenny Pickett, and he certainly had those moments today. Looking at the rest of the offense, Najee Harris has really struggled this entire year, but he had a nice 36-yard run. It was great to see him finally break one open because he really has not had a lot of success this season. But 20 carries for 99 yards from him, that was pretty impressive. Jaylen Warren, I'm glad they're working him into the offense because he's a little more versatile, in my opinion, than Najee Harris. When I say versatile, I shouldn't say versatile. I mean dynamic. He's a little bit more explosive than Najee Harris. And he had 9 carries for 37 yards. He also had, I believe, a few receptions. He had 3 catches for 40 yards as well. So it's good to see him working more into the offense. I was also happy to see Deontay Johnson led the team in receiving yards today, 4 catches for 63 yards and 5 targets. He's a player who's kind of been, I don't want to say forgotten, but not utilized enough in the offense the way it is set up right now. Obviously, Kenny Pickett has a good connection with George Pickens, the rookie receiver. He's using Pat Freiermuth quite often because Freiermuth is consistently getting open because that's what he's done since college. So I'm glad Deontay Johnson got more involved today because he really is probably the number 1 receiver on our offense, the most talented receiver on our offense. I know some people might say Pickens, but for now, I say Deontay Johnson is clearly supposed to be the wide receiver 1 for this team. So I'm glad they got him involved today. Speaking of Pickens, 3 catches for 32 yards, and I'm glad to see they schemed some touches for him as well. Obviously had a rushing touchdown and had another big rushing play as well. So I'm glad to see they're getting him involved in multiple facets of the offense. I actually like the play calling a little bit better today than I have in past weeks. I still think the play calling in general, I think maybe a new offensive coordinator. I've said this over and over again. I'm never going to swing over to the Matt Canada bandwagon. But I will give credit to where it's due. The offensive play calling was a little bit better today than what's been in past weeks. Defensively, got T.J. Watt back today. No, Minkah Fitzpatrick. We just can't seem to get Watt, Hayward, and Fitzpatrick on the field healthy together. But it was a good game from our defense, obviously holding Andy Dalton, who we still own, to just 10 points on offense. Alex Highsmith had 2 sacks today. He's been coming into his own this year. He's been a fantastic player. And now that Watt's back, I'm sure his numbers will jump up even higher over the course of the rest of the season. Watt didn't have a sack in today's game. I saw him take down Dalton. I guess they recorded it as a run stop. I guess it was not technically a sack. It was rare on the line of scrimmage, so unfortunately there. But he came back and was still making an impact almost right away in this game. So I'm pretty happy to see he's progressed well in his recovery. Interceptions for Levi Wallace has been struggling this year, and DeMonte Casey as well stepping in to help out our secondary. I think you have to walk away from this game feeling really good about Pittsburgh and what they did today. Obviously, there's some concern about Pickett and sometimes how he controls the pocket, how long he holds the ball. 6 sacks today is not really ideal. The Saints do have a pretty good defensive line, so I'll give them credit for that. But that's probably an area you want to focus on improving going forward. And I still think you can maybe adjust some things with the receiver room and how you utilize your different receivers in terms of who's getting looks, but also just how frequently you get a guys. Because I think Deontay Johnson should probably be getting more than 5 targets per game. That's just probably, for a player of his caliber, you look around the league, not a lot of guys are of his level are only getting 5 targets per game or less. And it feels like he's not been given enough opportunities this year to really succeed. And part of that might be just Pittsburgh dumbing down the play calling and the chances for there to be mistakes because they know that they have a rookie quarterback at the helm. And I do kind of understand that. And I do sympathize with that. But at the same time, we can't really continuously put the, what are they called? Training wheels on? I think that's the saying I'm going for. We have to eventually take the training wheels off and kind of let Pickett feel out a little bit more with some of the best players on our team, including these guys like Deontay Johnson. But like I said, overall, I'm very happy with how Kenny Pickett played today. The defense was really good. I think they actually played better than I was expecting, considering the absence of Fitzpatrick and Watt coming back for the first time this year since the season opener. So I was really happy with overall the performance today. I think Pittsburgh fans should be fairly encouraged by everything that happened. And move on to next week. 3-6, probably not getting in the playoffs this year. I think we can all agree with that's probably just a pipe dream at this point. But we have to be conscious of where we are as a team and have to be able to just accept that, hey, take these wins, take the improvement that we see from our rookies going forward, and that's how we're going to win this year, is essentially just focus on building up our team for future seasons. And right now, I think we've seen some good progression from Kenny Pickett already this year, and certainly have to feel good about guys like George Pickens and how they're playing very early in their NFL careers.